Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Desperation, desperation, desperation. And when you are desperate, you make mistakes. Why? Because you are doing it under pressure. You don't have time. Patience is not used. So hasty decisions are usually bad decisions. What's going on here? We have the Americans and the Germans, the administrations, who are really in deep doo-doo. I'm talking about the Biden administration and the Olaf Scholz administration, big doo-doo. They are trying to pump the last tranche of money from their population, the Americans and the Germans, to Ukraine, to Zelensky-style, before they hit the road. Now, I don't know if the Pentagon is not going to control Trump, as we can see right now, these big arms manufacturing companies are really getting fatter and fatter. But nevertheless, Scholz, the Chancellor of Germany, is in Kiev, and he promises some hundreds of millions of dollars before he gets kicked out of the office through democratic vote. The same thing we have the Americans. They promise, again, now or never, before Trump comes. I don't think Trump will have much to do, but I think it's understanding somewhere, and these guys are telling their arms manufacturing sponsors, guys, it's going to be until the 20th of January, and after that we have to cut from our orders that we make for weapons so we can aid Ukraine. That's the first topic right here. I'm going to give you the exact number. Then we're going to talk about the coup d'etat, the attempt to open the third front, not a second. The second is in Syria against the Russians, and that is Georgia, the country of Georgia. That's a Maidan coup occurring right now over there, because when you lose in elections, then you start rioting, or you just protest until the government somehow gonna dictate another election, because that's what happens in America. When people say, okay, we disagree with this election, they will just conduct another one, right? No, they beat you up and they say that's an insurrection. But somehow in Georgia, it's not the same. I'm going to show you how the peaceful protesters, some of them in Georgia, behave. They are having some certain kind of guns shooting at the law enforcement. Now, if that would happen in the United States of America, what do you think would happen to that one? It depends what the order is for the law enforcement. Stand down, and they stand down. Like, wasn't it in Portland or in Seattle when those headquarters were attacked with all kind of shit? What happened? Not much. Why? The order was stand down. All right, so that's another one we're gonna discuss. We're gonna find out that this I can't believe, but this Kaja Kallas, she's just, how should I put it? I find out that she's the European Union's foreign policy chief. She's very young and very immature, very infantile, not a lot of knowledge. Not because I don't like her or anything like that. Her statements. Maybe she's very smart, but she has to play dumb. It's a possibility. She says that European Union threatens to sanction the country of Georgia, where they try to overthrow the government. Why? They won't allow that to happen. Why? That's what you do. That's what you do. If you lose an election, then you want to win it by overthrowing the government, it seems like. The Kremlin obviously compares Georgia's protests to Maidan coup, and I'm in 99.9% agreement with them. Then we find out that the Prime Minister of Georgia tells the President of Georgia, get out. Out. Why? The President of Georgia was born in France. She is works for other interests than the Georgian people. Now, I'm not saying the Prime Minister of Georgia works for the Georgian people as well, necessarily, but there are forces fighting against one another. The problem is the Europeans are far away, creating shit next to Russia. Georgia is next to Russia. So, nevertheless, and we find out that President Putin will visit India. Can he do that? Oh well, we're going to discuss that. So let's start with the first topic and the first article here, coming from Sputnik, 6 hours ago, today on the 2nd of November 2024. German Chancellor Scholz arrives in Ukraine for talks with Zelensky. I wonder why. I mean, Zelensky is Jewish, he's German, you got the difference of power right there, and guilt, imbecilic guilt. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has arrived in Kiev to hold talks with Ukrainian president, because Zelensky is Ukrainian, Zelensky-style. The announced visit by the German Chancellor has become the first in 2.5 years. Scholz said that he plans to announce further arms deliveries worth 650 million euros, which is $684 million in December. Hurry up, we are done. So what's going on? This guy's his approval rating, I think in Germany is about what, 20-some? His party is less than 20%. But he's the prime minister. This is democracy for you. Got it? And early parliamentary elections will be held before the end of March next year. Scholz will run again as a candidate of the Social Democrat Party, the Communists of Germany, SPD, STD actually. So he is doing this before he gets kicked out. All right, let's see what else. Scholz visits Kiev first in 2.5 years for talks with Zelensky, and he announces weapon supplies worth 650 million euros in Kiev. And here is this hunchover. I can't even imagine what she is, but nevertheless. We find out Russia Today says that White House touts massive surge in arms shipments to Kiev. We have to win against the evil Russians, because otherwise our way of life, this another baboon. I say baboon not to say criminal, but anyway. President Biden wants every allocated dollar spent by the time he leaves office, Jack Sullivan has said. From whom? From your children. I'm trying now to muster some empathy. From your children. And it is going to be from your children, because this money that is printed to pay for the weapons that will be given to Ukraine is going to create inflation. And that money is taken from other projects, like, I don't know, infrastructure, schools, educations, kindergarten, hospitals, brothels. Okay, let's move on. So what do we have here? President Joe Biden wants that. Ongoing president, right? With 50 days of its term left, the Biden administration is working to get Ukraine all the tools we possibly can to strengthen their position on the battlefield. Did anybody ask me? No. They say, we asked you one time. Last elections. So in 4 years, these guys can do whatever they want. Do you like this democracy? I don't. What can we do? Work within the system, right? Yeah, okay. So there you have it. Next one. Russia Today. Watch pro-European protesters use fireworks minigun in Tbilisi. Clashes with police have once again taken place outside the parliament building in the Georgian capital. Those fuckers talking about the imbecilic term insurrection in 6th of January. If this would happen, did not happen. This didn't happen in the insurrection, so-called. Didn't happen. Now, something like this. So what would you call this? Is it an insurrection, or is it the right of the people to protest? All right, just so you know, I'm not going to play the video because, I'm on YouTube. But remember this peaceful protester. Whenever you're going to hear again, and you're going to hear many, many, many times about this from the media operatives, that peaceful protest in Tbilisi, anti-governmental, corrupt, and fraudulent elections. This is the spin. They will give it to you over and over again. So they Pavlovian conditioning right there. You're going to have it. But they're not going to show you this one. And if they're going to show you to you, it's going to show you to at 5 o'clock a.m., 3 seconds, and say, see, we report the news. No, my boy. No. Over and over again. Next. European Union threatens Georgia with sanctions. And Miss Babuinish, this infantile, she's of the same level as Annalena Baerbock. The same infantile level. Okay? This is what based on her statements. So, she took Josep Borrell, another baboon, but a little bit more experienced than her, obviously, took his place. So she said the sanctions are one of the several options being considered by the bloc after Georgia froze accession talks with Brussels and cracked down on subsequent pro-European Union protests. This is what she says. Okay, it says here, constant blackmail and manipulation of Georgia's domestic politics. I think that's correct. When it comes to the European Union, this clearly has consequences on our relationship with Georgia. The same thing happened. Remember this one right here? Kremlin compares Georgia protests to Maidan coup. I totally agree with that. And who is this woman? Kaya Kallas. She was born in 1977. She was the foreign minister or whatever. She was prime minister of Estonia, right there. And she was catapulted, so Prime Minister of Estonia, she was catapulted to the European Union. That's what they do. That's what they do. They open the doors for you, all right? They make sure that you ascend, you take, or were given, good press, as a good person, even as baboonish as you can be. They will, edit shit, and they will not pay it. They will not say, wait a minute, this is idiotic what she said. They will not say that. They will say, this was very smart. It was fantastic. Even though you as an individual, you start questioning your intelligence. Say, so it is me who see this woman is shallow? Or because the mass media said that she is very deep? Now, it depends on who you are. If you are who you are, you say, no. I know who those guys are. I understand the world. Off. All right. So what's going on here? Let's go to the next article here. And we have the Prime Minister of Georgia. Pro-Western Georgian president must go, the Prime Minister says. According to the Constitution, Salome Zurabichvili has only a few weeks before her term ends. He said, Georgian President Salome Zurabichvili will be expected to leave her post later this month when her term ends, the nation's Prime Minister has announced. Zurabichvili has rebuffed calls to leave. She doesn't want to leave, alleging that the recent parliamentary elections were marred by fraud and labeling the current government illegitimate. Now, imagine that is Trump. Put the Balabichvili, the president of Georgia, as Trump. And let's say Biden won. And you would have the insurrection, like these guys right here. And she said, or Trump says, I'm not going to go. These guys are illegitimate. They say that was a stolen election. What if why doesn't that apply here, or applies here, but not applies there, and vice versa? Why is that? Inconsistency, my friends. Inconsistency. All right. I don't think that's a perfect election. I think irregularities will happen. Minor, major, structural, and so on. Some happen. But to think or to portray a system as being perfect when you win, and definitely imperfect when you lose and you run a re-election, I mean, please. Now let's see how Putin will visit India. Why? Because of the ICC court arrest warrant, remember? Preparations underway for Putin's India visit. Kremlin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has invited the Russian leader to visit New Delhi in 2025 for their next bilateral summit. Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India next year is already being prepared, although exact dates have yet to be confirmed. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, he's not a person, he's a man, said on Monday, during the recent BRICS summit in Kazan, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited Putin to India in 2025 in the next bilateral summit. I can confirm that the visit is indeed being planned. All right, so that's what it is, but let's see. Is India an ICC court member? No, here it is. This is the map. This is the ICC court. The country is in the red, not a state party, not a signatory. So they don't have to arrest him. Now you have these guys right here, like Russia, United States of America. You see these guys? Russia, United States of America. And you have another country here. I don't think Israel doesn't have it, obviously, not a state party. And then the signatory that subsequently withdrew its signature. So the United States of America is a signatory and I said, no, we're out of this garbage. And then you have the green one, state party, the idiots, right there. All right, Brazil, yeah, it's a signatory. All right, my friends, this is it. This is it. So again, these guys are trying to give as much from our money without being asked to some others. Remember, it's like you go in your household and you take from your kids their toys and you give it to the neighbor's kids. Why? Because I don't know, they have a domestic violence issue over there. Would you do that? And then why? Do you love your children? But you don't replace the toys to your children. No. You don't replace them. You just take it and give it over there. That's how I see things here. Remember, that's the Germans, that's the Americans who are two exiting administrations. So that tells you what? Or at least the Germans will have elections in March, which out, unless they make Alternative für Deutschland illegal, because they will lose. And the Alternative for Deutschland is going to win. Remember the peaceful protests in Georgia? Do not forget that picture. Okay, then you have Kaya, who's a baboonish right here, but we're going to hear from her from now. No, unfortunately, this is the level. And this is another guy right here. There's another guy. All right, then you have the Prime Minister of Georgia saying the President of Georgia must go according to the Constitution. She doesn't want to, so she will be removed forcefully. I guarantee you that if the Americans and others are not succeeding in overthrowing the legitimate government of Georgia. And then we have the preparation between these two buddies. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you later. Crocodile.